Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. So I want to dig back in where we left off yesterday and talking about idleness and working, and of course lessons from Daddy. Lesson 3 this week is work. Go to work, you're gonna work. And again, even as a young child, this is something that Dad modeled for us, and we saw our parents working, and they expected us to work. And of course, as children, we're not talking about child labor here, but where Mom and Dad were concerned, Natalie and our school was our job. School was our work. And so they expected us to put in the kind of effort into school that you would put into your job. And so I'm particularly talking about, middle school, high school, elementary, children. But in the in our older years, school was our work, and we were expected to put in to that what we would put into a job. And with the same type of work ethic, the same type of integrity that we saw them put into their work. And they didn't, Natalie alluded to this the very first week we were together. They did not demand perfection, but they did demand our best. And so if your best was an A, then that's what they expected of us. If your best was a B minus, then that's what they expected. And so in the same way that we've been talking about here, working, and whatever we do it as unto the Lord, or do it in dependence upon the Lord and in His name, heartily doing it for His glory. It's in everything, in all of our work. And so for us, as children, as teenagers, school was work, and we were taught to put into that the same type of energy and excellence that they put into their jobs. So we're going to spend the next 3 days in Proverbs. Proverbs, of course, the book of wisdom that Solomon wrote, leaving for his children, and thankfully we get the benefit of that. But let's go to Proverbs. There were so many scriptures in Proverbs about working and the necessity to work, encouraging us to work. The first one I want to look at is Proverbs 16:26. It says, "The appetite of a laborer works for him, for the need of his mouth urges him on." That's pretty self-explanatory, right? The appetite of the laborer urges him on. It encourages him. For the need of his mouth urges him on. The King James says, his mouth craves it. He that labors for himself, for his mouth craves it. Isn't that the truth, though? That when we want something, we work for it. Our appetite urges us. The need of that fulfillment, or the fulfillment of that need, moves us and urges us on. I also want to look at Luke 10:7, and then tomorrow we are going to start digging into Proverbs 6. So Luke 10:7. This is Jesus. Luke 10:7 is in my Bible. And Jesus he sends out his 70. He's 70 disciples, and he sends them out. And in Luke 10:7, he says, "And stay on in the same house, eating and drinking what they provide, for the laborer is worthy of his wages. Do not keep moving from house to house." And in my Bible, it references Deuteronomy 24:15, and that is where the Lord gave instructions to the children of Israel, and it says to pay your servant, or to pay a man on the same day that he earns his wages, to not withhold wages. And sometimes we're always looking for a deal, we're always looking for a better price, and not that that's a bad thing, because I do think we're to be frugal and good stewards of what we have, also recognizing this, that the laborer is worthy of his wages. And so That back to Proverbs 16:26 that we just read, that the appetite of the laborer works for him, for the need of his mouth urges him on. Well, that is working to receive something. And Jesus says that the laborer is worthy of his wages. I have to remind myself of that. And it's not a bad idea for you to remind yourself of that the laborer is worthy, that we should not expect people to do things for nothing, and that there is a cost to it, a right cost, a fair cost, but there is a cost, and the laborer is worthy of his wages. All right, tomorrow again we're going to dig into Proverbs 6, and this is really some good stuff coming up. So I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.